Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and I think everybody on the internet is currently seeing what's going on with Tim Pool and Kanye West, and I'm going to be sharing my opinions about just some videos and stuff like that that I've shown. So I'll be going over a bit more things that people probably haven't caught up or done, because obviously some YouTubers will only put up one section of one part, or one section of one other, or just one the biggest thing where he walks out. And what I want to do is get the whole picture, and then have you guys kind of address my opinion, have me address my opinions, and then you guys form your own opinion on it. And I honestly think that I'm not a huge fan of Tim Pool, and again, I'll address my opinions on what I would do and stuff like that later on after the shows these videos. But it's quite insane. Let's take a look at this.
How is it that Nick ends up invited to this dinner, and what happened?
Well, he was rolling with me. I was impressed with Nick, and I was like, just come to the dinner. And we had Karen Giorno pick us up from the airport. And there was a lot of back and forth. There's another gentleman named Jamar Montgomery that was with us. He's an engineer at Boeing, and what's it?
I'm telling him we should raise everyone's volume.
Okay, cool. And we sat there, and it was like when Trump came in, I said, do you want to sit alone? He's like, no, bring your friends in. So a big thing is like Trump had no idea who Nick Fuentes was. But this whole, I just got to go right to the heart of this anti-Semite claim that's happening. This is something, if you read the definition, it says you can't claim that there's multiple people inside of banks or in media that are all Jewish, or you're anti-Semitic. And that's the truth. Like, it's the truth. What are we talking about? And
Elaborate. What do you mean? You mean?
I'm saying, like, I've been labeled anti-Semite, right? So there's different beliefs about our bloodlines, like the documentary that Kyrie posted. And in general, America has been left ignorant, and history has been changed. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, isn't that an issue of these individuals? Like you're extrapolating.
I'm going to order with the last of my money that's available in a different account. I'm going to order a PJ before I sit and have another Lex Friedman setup conversation when I'm literally they're trying to put me in jail for my opinion.
But I get that.
I'm not going to have that opinion. I don't care about people. Those are bots that are trying to tell you. We realize, look at Pence. He sold Trump out. You get what I'm saying? It's like, I would have never wanted to do anything that hurt Trump. I'm on Trump's side. Trump said things that hurt me. He lied about me, but I mean, he's known for lying. And when people used to tell me that, he's a liar, it's like, I went into the trenches for Trump. That's another conversation. There was no one in my position. And right now, it's like, you're not going to take, if we can't, you're not going to take my pain away, right? The Jewish people say, it's the Holocaust, this happened, and you can't say anything about it. We can't take their pain away. No one's going to denounce the fact that they tried to lock me up. That's what because every time I'm just holding stride, and it's like, I thought I was more Malcolm X, but I find out I'm more MLK, because as I'm getting hosed down every day by the press and financially, I'm just standing there. And when I found out that they tried to put me in jail, it was like a dog was biting my arm, and I almost shed a tear, almost, but I still walked in stride through it. Yeah,
I think they've been extremely unfair to you.
Who is they though? We can't say who they is.
Corporate press. I'm not using I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking.
It is
about
them though, isn't it? I mean, because because when you think about it, consider it. In 2018.
What do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like, okay, so how about? Are you leaving?
Are you afraid of the press?
He's gone. I'll say it right now. You guys want to bring that stuff up, and then think we're not going to have a conversation?
Have the discussion.
Like you think he's going to come in here and say, here's my pain, here's my suffering. I'm gonna say, I hear you. And then he's gonna say, and it was Jewish people. And I'm gonna be like, okay, but don't you consider, so I'm not gonna do this. I
gotta
refuse.
Go, make sure he's cool.
All right, go for it. Luke and I will have a conversation. So I can't say I'm surprised.
Now you guys got the full picture. Guys, strongly issued. I will now address my actual legitimate opinions. And what I think of this is that this is bad front on both Tim Pool and Kanye West's part. But this is a normal thing that Tim Pool does. And he is probably, in my opinion, one of the worst interviewers in existence. Does not really get things done, does not let people address their opinions, at least his guests, people's opinions. He talks over to people, like, it's just annoying to the fact that where you don't get everybody's opinions out. The thing is that he has such a big platform, he's able to grab these people other than JRE, and you get to listen to other people's opinions. They get to listen to what they say, and that's the reason why I would prefer JRE over Tim Pool in most cases, is because he lets the guests speak. He lets the guests have get their point across, to have an actual legitimate conversation, rather than talking over them, having this hierarchy and thinking you're better than everybody else. And I'll even point out actual special clip in a little bit here of really what really shows of what Tim Pool actually is, and the disgusting way that he acts. So in this sense, I just don't like it. The only reason why you would want to go to Tim Pool at all is that Joe Rogan doesn't always go and talk about politics. It's not always 100% about politics. And with Tim Pool, it always is politics. And if you want to get your know-how on politics or more of the political sphere, you would probably just go to Tim Pool, because that's a better way to get that update on stuff what's going on. The problem is that we do not have another person that can combat Tim on this level. And I'll even say this, is that what I want to do in the future is do something very similar to what Tim Pool does, and maybe even JRE into this instance. But the thing is that what Tim won't do is what I would do, is that I would easily let people address their illegitimate opinions on these type of subjects and have them actually speak. Obviously, for YouTube reasons, we would have to probably do it on Rumble, because we would only be allowed to say certain things on Rumble without being on YouTube. We get completely canned. And this is one thing to where I can maybe agree with Tim on, or maybe defend Tim a little bit on here, is that, yeah, he's on YouTube. And if he's going to be on YouTube, he has to kind of play by YouTube rules a little bit so he doesn't get canned. And I'll be honest, despite on how much we may dislike Tim, how much we don't really like sometimes Tim's opinions or whatever, or he thinks he's a fence sitter, he is still a very strong fight against these very far left, and we need to use that as the best that we can, regardless whether or not he is a fence sitter or whatnot. This is what we need to use, and unfortunately this is what we have. But of course we need more people that comes out and that can combat Tim on things like this, because it's just the way it is. He wants to say, oh, he's a fence sitter or whatever or not, and try to defend himself. It's like, no, Tim, that's exactly what you are. That's what you always has been, and this proves the point particularly well. Now, if we're gonna go with Kanye West here, and with him, but saying that he wants to run for president or whatever or what have you, is that you can't have this type of attitude, Kanye. You just can't. You can't have it to where people will push back, or where people will have these opinions and you just leave or leave the stage or what have you, or not have enough backbone to push back. Because that doesn't make you a strong leader, doesn't make you making you want me to vote for you at all, because of the mere fact you have no spine or backbone to stand up for your ideas or what have you. So you need to be able to push back, and it just goes to show that you just would not be a strong enough, or even remotely good enough leader for this country, because you are confronted with something and you leave immediately after. You take those punches that they throw at you and you jab them right back in a more professional way. And it shows that you can't do that. You're not able to functionally do this. But also as well, I can understand on why Kanye West in particular would be afraid, or rather, not necessarily, I don't think the phrase is the right word here. I think the correct term is annoyed or frustrated because his whole life is crumbling around him. Like, he's getting canceled to an extreme extent. This is what I mean by freedom of speech and freedom to do certain things is not allowed, because look what they did to Kanye, to where they pretty much destroyed his entire life, all of his fortune and everything in a single night because of his opinions. And that's absolutely ridiculous. You should be able to say what you want or do what you want or what have you, obviously if it's not illegal, without getting completely destroyed like that as he did. And I think that the way this has to be is that we need to fix the way the world functions or the way the world works, to not have things like that to people. And I think I can sympathize a little bit with Kanye on to why he would get frustrated and just want to walk out, because it doesn't seem like Tim wanted to respect any of Kanye's ideas or opinions or what have you, or have a full thought conversation, or even a remote interview to where Tim doesn't allow his own guests to actually speak or talk, which is completely ridiculous. And that's the whole problem people are having with you, Tim, and why some people are revolting against you is because you don't do this type of stuff. You don't initiate or allow your guests to speak at all, and that shows onto what your content is. Obviously, you have to have your say in too, and you have to have address your own opinions, etc., whatever. But that's here, neither here or there. But here's this one other clip that I really want to show you guys that shows the narcissistic attitude and the type of behavior that Tim exudes that really just rubs me the wrong way and actually honestly just pisses me off. Take a look at this clip, because it kind of really shows on how Tim operates here, which is really, really annoying.
You guys want to bring that stuff up? And then
have
think
the
we're not going to have a conversation?
Like, have the discussion.
Like, you think Ye's going to come in here and say, here's my pain, here's my suffering. I'm going to say, I hear you. And then he's going to say, and it was Jewish people. And I'm going to be like, okay, but don't you consider, it's like, I'm not going to do this. I refuse.
Make sure he's cool.
All right, go for it. Luke and I will have a conversation. So I can't say I'm surprised.
And that right there shows on how a piece of shit and how garbage Tim Pool is that he'll go out and again try to address these things. Yeah, Tim, it's like you don't let your people speak. You don't let your guests speak. And then when you don't let them speak, I would not be surprised to where they just leave. Okay? Like, that's the whole problem. You don't let them speak. And then you want to go out and say that where even Luke would even go out and say, it's like, well, how the discussion. Luke was actually correct. Luke wouldn't, and this is at least what I'm going to assume what Luke is saying, is that, okay, let's have a discussion. It's like, yeah, Tim, you need to let them have the discussion and whatnot. And then when Milo says, "Oh, I'm gonna go see if it's all right," it's like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And it's like me and Luke will have this discussion. It's like, Tim, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, you don't allow, as I've been repeating myself multiple times, you don't allow for discussions to be allowed on your platform. You just hear yourself talk, you want to be the number one priority guy, you want to think that you're smarter than everybody else in the actual room, and what really showed that was when you had Milo Yiannopoulos on the first time of your show, where he was completely taking over your show and not allowing you to speak because it was your guest. And then you constantly do this. No, fuck off, Tim. This is the reason why I can't watch a lot of your stuff. Now, maybe some of your new stuff or whatever, sure, that's fine. I can maybe watch that because it's just you. But when it comes down to when your guests or stuff, I can't watch it because it's your narcissistic stuff it's your narcissistic side that really shows out, that comes out, that was really, really annoying. And I can't stand platforms like that. When I watch Nick Rekieta, when he does his guests, I love it. Because it's both of them talking, having a conversation, the guests get to speak, you get both sides of the story, it's great and informational. You, Tim, you don't allow that. And that what makes you a terrible interviewer, a terrible podcaster in this instance, and I can't stand it. So, that's my opinions on the whole situation. Like, I don't know what else to tell you guys. You guys can like me or hate me for it or whatever. You Tim Pool fanatics can go after me if you want. I don't really care. But that's just the reality of it. Tim Pool is a fence sitter, and he doesn't allow his guests to speak. And until he allows that, it's really hard to watch the content. Alright, guys. That's it for my video. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.